So I'm currently reading Your Hate May Well Be Graded by John Scarsy, and it's pretty much just a book collection of his blog entries that he wanted to put together in a book. Also, I'm sorry for the lighting, but I can't move because I have a dog on my lap. But yeah, I'm now at a blog entry about The Catcher in the Rye, and I disliked that book so much, and he just talks out of my soul. It's just, you've only ever read like really good things about The Catcher in the Rye, so I felt really kind of wrong for disliking the book. And he just says so many good things about the book, and I so agree with him. It's it's incredible. It's the first time that I really read somebody who thought the exact same things that as I did when reading The Catcher in the Rye. And yeah, it's really cool to read. I never knew that reading a book about blog entries could be that interesting, but I never read his blog. I was never really a blog reader. Yeah. Oh, okay, come, Shasta. Okay. There's my little boy. Yeah, I was never a blog reader, really. So it's kind of interesting to look back at his entries, because these are from 1989 to 2008, so they're not recent. But they're really interesting. So it's a really interesting book, which is really nice. So yeah, if you didn't like Catcher in the Rye, maybe read his blog entry, or just read Your Hate May Well Be Graded. Really interesting book by him. Hello and welcome back to the reading vlogs. I am, it's a weird filming thingy majingy, but my dog doesn't wanna leave, and so I have to sit here now. It has its reasons, but I'm coming to that in a minute. But yeah, so I hope it's okay. That this really isn't the best angle, but I just can't change that right now. So yeah, it's Tuesday. I haven't read much yet because I have a problem. I'm still really tired all the time. I think it's still like, the virus. I mean, I'm over it. I'm negative again and stuff, and I'm not really that ill anymore, but I don't have any energy to do anything, and that also includes reading. Because I'm so tired that I really cannot focus on the books, which makes reading really hard. So I don't have much of a reading update. I did continue the book. I did continue with that one, but yeah, as you can tell from the clip, I think it's a really enjoyable thing. It's kind of a weird concept to read like the blog entries in a book, especially since, as I said, I'm not a blog reader. But it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I think it's cool. And the thing that why I have that book, I might just put the link in the comment section, but I don't know if you know the site Humble Bundle, but it's a site primarily for gaming where you can buy games and they spend money on charity in your name. Like when you buy stuff from them, you can a percentage of what you buy, you can tell them to put towards a charity. And they always have like game bundles where everything is going to charity. And then they also have book bundles, and sometimes I do buy these. And I mean, all of the books are ebooks, which I'm not in love with ebooks. I do prefer a physical book, but it has its uses. And they had a John Scarsy bundle, and I only ever read one book by him, the Kaju Preservation Society. I really liked that book. And ever since then, I have him on my list, like, I need to buy more of his books, I want to read more of his books. And then on Humble Bundle, they had a book bundle from him, and now I think I have like 23 books by him. And I only paid 16 euros for those 23 books, which is incredibly cheap, and the money goes to charity, which I think is a really, really great thing. So yeah, now I own a lot of his books in ebook format, which I don't add them to my TBR. I don't do that with ebooks because, for one, I rarely read ebooks and I rarely buy them, so I don't really add them to my TBR. And the second one is that my TBR is mostly like a physical TBR because that are the books that I own physically that I need to read. And that I want to read because obviously my goal is at some point to have like a small physical TBR and the rest books that I love and have read and I want to reread, you know. So yeah, so my TBR didn't go up with the purchase, which is good. But yeah, I did start the first one of those books just, you know, to have something to read on my e-reader. And then I also did start an audiobook because I find it easier to listen to an audiobook at the moment. And I will have to put the title here because I don't remember it right now and I can't look it up because my tablet isn't here. But yeah, it is an interesting audiobook. I'm not 100% sure if I like it or not at the moment, but it's a really interesting topic. So, you know, I do love myself an interesting non-fiction audiobook. I don't know why, but I kind of just love non-fiction books in audiobook form, and there are so many interesting topics out there. So yeah, I'm also listening to that, but I'm not that far in yet, so I really can't tell you much about the book. So that is why I'm really vague at the moment because, yeah, I'm not that far in because I am so tired all the time. And yeah, the last reading update is what I'm currently reading, whilst I'm sitting down here, and that is After the Forest. I have a hard time. I think that is because I'm so tired, but I have a hard time reading physically. It's I don't know, it's not really going great at the moment. Just like from my physical state. But I'm now 50 pages in. It's still not that far. But I don't know if that will change, but I still feel like the tone feels so not fairy tale-ish, and it obviously isn't a fairy tale, it's the continuation of a fairy tale, and obviously like an alternative thing that might have happened, so maybe it isn't supposed to sound like a fairy tale, but I think from like the blurb, it sounded like it was supposed to be more like a fairy tale-ish story, and this is just like it just throws you in there, and then it's just such a hard-hitting topic because Hans has a lot of depth and a lot of depth. Is depth debt? He owns money. He owes money to some people, and yeah, Greta has to kind of hope that she can get the money to, you know, offset those the money that he owes, and then also like the people start acting really really hostile towards her, and it really hurts her feelings, like, I mean, obviously, but yeah, the tone has such like the book has such not hard, I don't know what the word in English is, I'm gonna put it on screen, but the German word is ernst. Like it's kind of a heavy undertone to the story, which wasn't what I expected. And to be fair, it just makes for slower reading because I don't know, it's so oh, it's such a feeling. I don't dislike the feeling. I don't dislike the book. It's just something that makes me go really slow when reading, and it's kind of a funny feeling while reading. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I will get that much more read today, which I'm really sorry that I'm so slow with reading at the moment and don't really have that many updates. But yeah, it's also a problem that our heating stopped working again. It is so cold in here already. You will have seen some clips, but it has snowed overnight and we have a little bit of snow, and it looks so nice outside, but it's so cold now. And you know, if you don't have any heating, and our apartment is like 3 stories high, well, technically our main living room is like 2 stories high, and then we have the lower floor of the apartment, you know. So it really really quickly gets cold in here because obviously the heat rises, so it is all underneath um, the roof of the apartment pretty much, and so it's really cold again in here. And we never had any problems with our but with the company that rents our apartments. Um, so yeah, it's kind of hard that we now have that problem twice, and they were supposed to fix it, and we don't know if they just fixed it today and didn't tell us, and that is why the heating isn't working, or if the heating broke again. And yeah, they haven't called back yet, so it's just really cold in here, and that makes me not want to do anything, including reading, if I'm honest, because I just cannot concentrate on anything really. And also that means that he's really snuggly. So pretty much all I'm doing is snuggling the dog, and that is it, you know. So yeah, really not the most exciting things happening, but yeah. And I'm also rambling so long again. I'm really sorry, but I hope you still enjoy the vlog, even though it's maybe not that interesting reading wise. Okay, hi. I'm looking a little bit crazy because I am currently coloring my hair, but yeah, I thought I'd use the time the color has to sink into the hair to do its job, to continue rearranging the bookshelves. So I thought I'd film a little bit for you. So yeah, please ignore the outfit. It's my hair coloring outfit. It looks like shit, but yeah, it's obviously not like my normal clothes because I don't want them to get dirty. But yeah, I sadly cannot film the shelves and the table where I put the books, which is there. So yeah, I sadly can only show you one side, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I will continue to listen to my game theory audiobook while I do the sorting, so I can continue a little bit with reading. And just to give you a quick update, I will put these 2 books aside because I realized I'm just sadly not that interested in reading them right now. I'm just not in a mood for these particular books, and I think it's unfair to continue with them and then give them a worse rating than I would if I've read them while I was kind of more in the mood to read them, because I feel like I can't do them justice right now. So we're gonna take the bookmarks out, and I will read these at a different time, just because I feel like I cannot do them justice right now, because I don't know why, but I'm not really in the mood to read them. So these go back on the TBR, and once I'm finished and I start reading for the day later on, I will pick a different book from my TBR pile then, and we'll see what I feel like more in the mood to read, you know. But yeah, let's go and take all of the unread books off the shelves, which are way too many. I just managed to not press record, so I have to repeat all of what I said. But I finished pulling all of the books out on these shelves. The exception are these ones, which are the Terry Pratchett collector's version. I'm not the only one that reads them. My partner reads them as well, so I think it's unfair to split them where I have, well, between the ones I've read and I haven't read. So the dog is playing, so if you can hear him grunting, it's the dog. So yeah, I won't split those up because I'm not the only one reading them. But other than that, these are all of the books I have read left. Like sci-fi, fantasy, and these ones are the horror ones and the non-fiction ones. But I don't have space anymore on my table, which is the reason... That's okay. So, which is the reason why these shelves look like this still. Okay, so these ones, the upper half, like 90% I haven't read, but I have no space on my table anymore, so they have to stay in there until I shifted a lot of the books onto their right places. But the lower half are the horror books left that I have read so far. And then that one is the German shelf, and I have decided that I will only keep the German books that really mean a lot to me in this room and put the other ones into my small storage room where they can stay because I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't have to take up the space in here with books that I'm just keeping purely out of like sentimental value and not because I like to read them or I love them or anything like that, you know. So I think that's fine. And so that way I have more space for the books that I actually want to read and that are in this room because I love them. So I think that's a compromise I'm happy with. And then let's talk about this chaos here. Let me see. Can you... Okay, so all of these books are the standalone books that I have, where they are actually standalone, or I only own one of the series. So pretty much standalone if I don't own any more. And these ones are all of the books that I have, where I have 2 or more of the series. And yeah, I split them up because if I'm totally honest, yeah, sometimes I'm just really not in the mood to read a book where I know I have more of the series, because sometimes I'm just in the mood to read something once and then be done with it. I'm personally technically not the biggest fan of series. I do own a lot because fantasy seems to have a lot of series, but yeah, I much prefer standalone, so that is the reason why I split them up, so that I don't have to do, look through what books are series or what books aren't, but I can see it directly on the shelf and I don't have to search for that. So these will also have like different places on the shelves. I haven't decided which shelves I will do into my TBR shelves yet. I will have to decide that at some point, probably tomorrow if I'm honest. But yeah, that is pretty much the point where I'm at now. So yeah, I have all of, but mostly the ones out of the shelves that I haven't read. So the next thing that I will do, and I don't know if I will still do that today or more likely tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, the next step is to put all of the German books away that get out of this room, so I know exactly how much shelf space I have. And then after that I can decide what is going where. And yeah, I probably will do that tomorrow, so I look a little bit like more put together on camera, because I look really rough, to be honest. It's really not a look, if I'm honest. So yeah, I will probably do that tomorrow. But I did want to, take you on the journey with me, especially since I feel like this week there won't be a lot of reading because I'm still so tired. I think it's still just the after effects of Corona. So yeah, I really have a hard time focusing on books. As I told you already, you know, the two I was reading, I'm really not meshing with at the moment. I'm really actively realizing that I only like get half of the audiobook that I'm listening to, which is really not great because I don't know, I just feel like I cannot work with the knowledge I take up, which is really hard. So I only like actively get half of the audiobook, which makes the audiobook hard to understand, and it isn't the fault of the book. So I feel really bad because I can't really rate the book. Once I'm finished with it, I will need to listen to it a second time, just because it just didn't stick in my head. So yeah, probably less reading and more book organization this week, but I hope you're okay with that, and a lot of rambling, probably a long walk, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that is pretty much all I think for today. So I will now wash the color out. It's nearly an hour already. It's taken me a long time to do anything these days at the moment. But it is what it is. I'm really sorry. I don't really want to apologize because it's just how it is at the moment. But I feel like I should apologize. So yeah, that is the state of the room at the moment. It looks really chaotic. Yeah, I hope you're still enjoying the vlog. But yeah, let's skip to tomorrow with a little bit more organization of these books. Okay, I'm sorry for the lighting, but it's already getting dark outside. Yeah, today I'm looking a little bit more put together. As you can see, my hair is finally a nice color again. And yeah, I'm doing this check-in not because I've read anything. I did listen to the audiobook yesterday, but I have to be honest, I don't feel like what it's called? The game theory? I have to look it up. It's really not a topic that is interesting to me, which is why it's taken me quite a while to get through the audiobook. But I did make some progress yesterday. My main reason for the check-in is that my Illumicrate just came, and as you can see, my dog thinks it's for him, because every package is for him. Careful, no, oh. But yeah, I quickly wanted to unbox that and show you what it's in there, and then I will give you a quick update of rearranging my books, because I did make some progress, which is nice. So, the theme of the November box was anti-hero, and the first thing I'm seeing is we have a mug in here, which I love those mugs. My partner loves these, so my dog obviously as well, as you can see. That is one funky looking mug. I hope you can see it even with this dark lighting. But yeah, it's a sci-fi inspired mug, which we haven't gotten a sci-fi inspired mug yet. I think the rest were all fantasy. And there is the Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. So I don't know from which franchise this is. I will have to look it up at the end. But yeah. Then the next thing we have is a hanging ornament inspired by Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, which is a book I haven't read. Oh, that is cool. That will definitely go onto my Christmas tree, which I will have to set the Christmas tree up still. So yeah, that will go on there. That is really cute. And then it is really not easy to unpack anything with this dog. I tell you. He wants to be everywhere, and everything is for him. I don't know what this is. What's it? Okay, I have no idea what this is. I'll look it up in a minute and then we'll have to explore what that is. I'm afraid to like take it apart. Maybe it's not meant to be taken apart, but there's, I don't know, something in there. So we'll see. And then we have bookends, which, to be fair, I have too many now. I don't really use these because my shelves are obviously like from end to end. So yeah, not the most practical thing for me personally, but they look cool, so let me show you. Also, I love me a good metal bookend. I think they're quite nice. It's probably hard to see. It's like a skull and then some chains, and there is written one flesh, one end. No idea from which franchise these are, so I will tell you in a minute. And then we have the book. Ooh, the book is Starling House by Alex E. Harrell. I am pretty sure I have something by them. I don't know. Yeah. I should be scared. There are stories about Starling House, the kind people only tell at night, half whispered under the hum of the porch light, but in the dream I don't hesitate. In the dream I'm home. Okay, so this is a book about Starling House and its last living inhabitant, and the city that is pretty much like, oh, don't bother with that house, it's a bad omen. And our main character gets a chance to work there, and things go from there. So, I had to let the dog out. I have to be honest, I am a sucker for these see-through book covers. And yeah, the cover in itself is really, really pretty, and you have this dark mansion on the cover. It looks really great. The end pages look good. The stenciled edges look really, really good. It sounds interesting, so yeah, sounds great, you know. I don't quite remember which other book I have by them, but I think it's Once and Future Witches. Yeah, the Once and Future Witches, which I haven't read yet. But what I did read by them is A Spindle Splintered. That one I read. I think I lent that from my library, and I did like it, though I didn't love it. So yeah, medium hopes for this book. Interesting to see, but it's a really pretty book. Okay, so now let's see what the things are that are in here. So we have the intermission mug, which is... Oh, that is amazing. It's the Murderbot. Oh, I'm so dumb. Yeah, obviously, that's the name of one of the series he watches. That is amazing. I love me the Murderbot series. The mug is really, really cool. Then we have Locked Tomb bookends, which are inspired by Gideon the Ninth. I haven't read that. It's on my to-read list, but I don't own it, so yeah. Then we have the Bone Dog ornament, which I already said is from Nettle and Bone. And then we have... It's a foldable bag, which the Stardust Thief. So I should be able to take it apart, right? All right. This is a massive foldable bag. With a really cool print. I don't know how good you can see it, but yeah, it's this Oriental inspired print, I would say, from the night market. This is massive. But yeah, I have to say, it was kind of hard to get out of there. But yeah, I love to use these bags. We take one every time we go shopping, so that is actually a good thing. But that really wasn't obvious, if I'm totally honest, at least not for me. But yeah, and then we have the book. So that is the box. To be honest, could be better, could be worse. Just because, I mean, how many bookends do you really need, to be honest. I always love the mugs, so I'm always up for a mug, and the ornament I think is kind of cool, and the bag is also really cool. But to be fair, I think it's one of the weaker boxes that we got this year. And yeah, the book looks really nice, so that's fine as well. So yeah, so much for my Illumicrate unboxing. And now let me show you a little bit of the progress I did. It's not massive, to be honest. Our heating is gone again. I think the part that was broken has finally given up, and they are still trying to get a piece to fix it, and it seems to be really, really hard to get the piece. So yeah, it's just really cold here. So I'm not doing much, if I'm totally honest. Yeah, let me show you. That bookshelf is completely empty now. That on that bookshelf were all of the German books, and I want that to be my TBR shelf. And this is pretty much what I did with my German books. These are all of the German books that will stay in here. And then up there we have my the German sci-fi series. Stop it. The blue books, because I did want to have them stay in here. But yeah, so these are the German books that are allowed to stay in this room. And then I can show you really quickly. Let me put the light on. As you can see, at the moment, they are just stacked here, the other German books. Once I have done this room completely, they will look really nicely on the shelves, but I'm still not finished with this room, and I probably won't be for a while. Mostly because I need to buy a few like storage things and shelves and stuff like that, and I just don't have the money for that right now, or I don't want to spend the money for that right now. So yeah, that will take some time still, but yeah, the time will come, and then the books will all have a proper place, but until then, they're fine stacked in the shelves there. So yeah, that is pretty much the progress I did. So tomorrow I will start with doing the TBR shelf, and then I can see how much space I have for all of the other books. Yeah, so that is the check-in for Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with reading update. But yeah, I'm still suffering from the aftermath of COVID, and it's annoying, to be honest. Okay, so I have to be honest, I'm a little bit ashamed. Out of all of the books that were on these 4 shelves, those on the right are the only ones I actually read so far. And all of those are unread. And these are too deep. And I mean, I obviously misinterpreted how much I liked the genre of like thrillers, military stuff, adventure novels, because obviously I really haven't read much of them, and I'm really ashamed, let's just be honest, because oh my god, those are so little in comparison to those. So well, I might have to do some themed reading next year, because I cannot go on like this. That is just not acceptable. But yeah, I'm currently, I will tackle my TBR shelf now, though I am afraid that I will need more than one shelf, or like bookcase, for my TBR. So we'll see how much of these 2 bookcases will be taken up with my TBR. Let's just say I'm afraid, but I will show you progress.
However, there are some additional features that we'd like evidence to have. First, a specific piece of evidence.
Okay, a quick update. I'm currently working on rearranging the bookshelves, and as you can see, all of the books that are like standing really nicely in the bookshelves are all of my unread books. Yeah, at least they are nicely put together now, but they are way too many. I desperately need to do a dent in them. Yeah, still a little bit ashamed about how that is looking, but at least they are now all organized and nice to look at. So the first and most important step is done. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, and now for a little bit of a general update. I am stuck with my reading and I hate it. I was so good and so back on track, and now I'm stuck again and I really, really hate it. But I now have them organized, so maybe I will be able to better find a book that I want to read. I started like 4 books yesterday, read the first 10 pages. I just couldn't get into a book, so I put them all away again. Which is not what I wanted to do. But yeah, let me put the glasses away. You can see the ring light in them. But yeah, so that is obviously a problem. And a problem I'm not happy about, if I'm honest, because I'm really in the mood for reading. I just cannot find the right book. So yeah, now that I have a little bit of an overview about the books that I all have that I haven't read yet, I will try to pick one that I hopefully like and want to read. Once, you know, I'm done with this check-in, and then I will try to read like a few pages, sort books, read a few pages, sort books, you know, because I do want to continue with the bookshelves, because I kind of want to have them looking nice, because now seeing all of these, I am really tempted to sort my books by book type and author, and just, you know, throw all of the organization out the window and just put the books where I think they look nice, and just have no real order to them, which really normally isn't my way to do things. I love sorting things like by alphabet and stuff, but I'm kind of feeling like sorting them how I like the look of them. And I think, because obviously I'm the only one who reads them, it really shouldn't matter, you know. So I might go that route, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the only thing I've really so far read, let me show you, it is this audiobook, Hidden Games. Oh my god, that shows the ring light quite a bit. It's called Hidden Games, The Surprising Power of Game Theory to Explain Irrational Human Behavior. The funny thing is, or like, it's a little bit of a sad thing, I don't think I'm a fan of the audiobook, because I'm not a fan of the topic, because for me it's just a book about explanations about random things that I don't even think are that irrational. So I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with me, but it's just explanation for random things humans do, kind of. And I don't really know, I don't really get the whole game theory thing, if I'm totally honest, and so the book makes me feel a little bit dumb, which normally doesn't happen with non-fiction books. Normally I'm really happy to learn new stuff, but that book just makes me feel really, really dumb, because I just don't really get it. So yeah, that's a little bit sad, but I will continue to listen to that, because I am halfway through now, and why stop now, you know? Also, it's nice to have something to listen to in the background while I sort the books out, you know? So I will continue with that, but first I have to find something I want to read, because I'm kind of desperate at this point now, you know. But yeah, also I have to start thinking about my reading goals for the next year, because this is just not acceptable. There are too many physical unread books in this room. It's really not an acceptable thing. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. So we have to rein that in next year somehow. I don't know how yet. Yeah. Also, we got a space heater from our agency here, you know, who rent out the apartments, to heat our apartment a little bit, because let me just tell you, the whole thing with the heating not working is just a whole lot of incompetence on the part of the company who's supposed to exchange the part that isn't working. They are making it really hard. They know, well, nearly 4 weeks now that they have to exchange the part, and they still haven't done it yet. And we have called, our janitor has called, the head office has called. It's a whole thing. So yeah, it's still really cold here, because we're only heating upstairs, because obviously at the moment we don't spend much time on the lower floors, because heat goes up, so it's easier to just heat the living room, you know. So it's a little bit cold in here, which is why I'm wearing like this like poncho thingy over my clothes. But yeah, so that is the check-in for tonight. Let's hope and cross our fingers that when I check in tomorrow morning, I have a reading check-in. That isn't the audiobook. That is the goal for the next check-in, you know. So let's hope that is actually what will happen in a second. Good morning. It is now Saturday, nearly noon. Morning/noon, whatever you want to say. And I actually read something and I finished something. I mean, it kind of feels a little bit like cheating, if we're honest, because this book is really, really short. It's 130 pages, but I finished it. And it feels good to finish a book. Let's be honest about that. This is Pelukida by Edgar Rice Burroughs. This is the second book in the series. But I didn't read the first one, and I don't think it really matters. I've read the complete Martian series by Edgar Rice Burroughs about John Carter, and this one just feels like a reskinned John Carter, if I'm totally honest. The main difference is that it plays in the Earth's core, which is hollow in this version, and there's a perpetual sun, so it doesn't ever get dark, and our main character, who is called David Innes, has like this machine to burrow through the Earth's core pretty much to this world in there. And he has adventures there, and they are really, really similar to what you can read with John Carter. You know, a woman gets kidnapped and he tries to get the woman back. I don't know. It's just the formula is always the same. Which is why I gave it 3 stars, because am I a little bit tired of the formula? Yeah, I am. But they're not bad books. They're really entertaining. So yeah, I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. I don't think I can fairly give it something worse, even though I think it's kind of really, really boring to have the same formula in each of his books. But I mean, I think at the same time it's probably like personal preference as well. So yeah. I don't know why I had the hope that because it's called Pelukida and there's a woman on the front that maybe would have a female main character, but no. Obviously it's a man who needs to save a woman. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that if you've read The Martian already, I don't think that it's worth also reading this series just because it is so similar when it comes to the whole makeup of the story. But yeah, because I had it, I read it, and I'm happy that I finished it. So that at least I finished a book this week. I did also continue with my audiobook yesterday. I finished like, I think 70%. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I don't think it's a particularly interesting topic for me personally. And yeah, I don't know. I don't get really the red, come on, can you say red string? Yeah, I think so, right? The red string that connects it all. I don't really get it in that audiobook. So yeah, I will finish it in the next week, probably tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, it's just really not that interesting to me. But what I did get, and what I will start as soon as I finish the other one, is I did get the 4th Murderbot series book as an audiobook. I am on the waiting list for part 5 as well. But yeah, part 4 just came available and I've gotten it. So now I have like, I think 2 weeks time to listen to that. So that is what I will listen to after I finished the Game Theory audiobook, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, other than that, with the bookshelves, I haven't done that much more. Like I started rearranging them, but I can't really show you that because it's not like I'm pulling all the books out and putting them back in. I'm just shuffling books around until I'm happy. And that's the whole process, and I don't think I have a viable version, like, thing to film that. I will try in the next video, but you've already seen so much footage this vlog that I really don't think it's necessary. But what did happen was that I found 4 more books from my TBR in there that I missed the first round. So yeah, I have 4 more books on the TBR shelf now, which, yeah, it's annoying. Let's just be honest, it's not, there shouldn't be this many unread books on my shelves. I really don't enjoy that, if I'm honest. Like, I like to have choice, but I feel like 250 books are too much choice. And I think that is also contributing to me not finding a book that I'm interested in, because I have so many books, and if I pick up one, I feel like I neglect the 250 other ones, and it's really impacting my reading, so I really have to make a dent in these. So yeah, I will have to pick a new book now, because I finished that one, but that was a good start, so we'll see what I pick next. That will be in the next vlog, because I'm gonna end the vlog here now. Yeah. I hope you still enjoyed this kind of chaotic non-reading reading vlog, because there really wasn't that much reading this week, I feel like. But yeah, I still hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in the next reading vlog next week. So bye bye. Hopefully your week went better.